UFC President Dana White joining us at the Underground for the first interview at the new spot, man. Happy to have you. Dana, didn't get to see you this past weekend, so I wanted to start out by asking you about Islam Makhachev and his performance this past weekend. I mean, another dominant win for him. Obviously a late replacement, but what did you think of his performance?
Yeah, I mean, the guy's an absolute stud. And listen, Bobby Green, you can say Bobby Green came in 10 days, but he came off a great camp, a great fight, and was still in shape. We made it so he didn't have to drop all the weight. And for Makhachev to go in and do what he did to a guy like Bobby, big deal.
Yeah, big statement. I know we don't make matchups the night of fights, but it's a couple days later, right? So let's ask:
and matchmaking doesn't start till Tuesday. So what, Morgan? What are you asking?
Is Islam in line for the winner of Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje? He says, "Look, I want that title shot." Is he the guy that's waiting on those two to figure it out?
He's in the discussion. I still want to see Dariush. Beneil is ranked number 3 in the world. I mean, it's unbelievable. He breaks his leg the week of the fucking fight. But what are you going to do? That's the sport. But yeah, listen, he's in the discussion. I'd still like to see that fight.
Yeah, it would be a great fight. I guess let me ask you too, while we're talking about Oliveira and Gaethje, do we have a location yet for May 7th? Obviously, UFC 274 was going to be Brazil, not going to be there anymore. Do we know where that fight is going to take place?
We do, but we haven't announced it, right? Yeah, we haven't announced it.
Oh, well, I mean, if you want to, let's let the world know.
I love you, but what's the plans for announcing that thing? May 7th is going to be in Phoenix.
All right, there we go. Breaking news, baby. That's how we're doing it over here. I appreciate it. All right, let's talk about what we got going this week. UFC 272, non-title fight in the main event, but obviously a huge rivalry fight. What about this fight made you say, hey, this is okay? We don't have a belt on the line, but this is a pay-per-view headliner?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously these two, the hatred between these two, the popularity of these two, the storyline between these two, they were friends, training partners, roommates, cornered each other, literally really hung out together and were friends. And now they hate each other. And, you got Colby, who's the number 1 ranked guy in the world. If Usman did not exist, this guy would be the 170-pound world champion going in against the number 6 ranked Jorge Masvidal. People want to see this fight. It's a fight fans have wanted to see for a long time. So here we go.
It's going to be a crazy week, that's for sure. I'm curious, do you worry about a week like this? I mean, these guys, the face-offs at the press conference, for instance, the ceremonials. I mean, do you take like extra security steps? Are there different things in place when it's a bitter rivalry like this?
100%. There'll be, security will keep an eye on them in the back. Up on stage, I got to do what I got to do. We'll have guys up there too, and the key to this week is you make sure that these two do not touch each other until Saturday.
No question about it. I'm wondering, it's a big fight. It's a huge fight. Are you thinking about this in terms of rankings and title picture and all that? I mean, both these guys, unfortunately, are 0-2 against, as you said, the very dominant Kamaru Usman. Are we talking about rankings and what this does, or is this just bad blood and then we'll sort things out from there?
100%. This is just a fight that needs to happen. The fans want to see it. These guys want it. And once this is over, whoever wins this fight can decide what they think they want to do next. Do you want to move up? Do you want to move down? Do you want to go over here? Do you want to go over there? Do you want to fight somebody else at 170? I don't know. We'll see after Saturday.
No doubt. Do you have any updates on the champ, Kamaru Usman? We saw him at the desk this weekend. He's had that hand surgery. Has he given you any indication of when he might want to fight again?
We're just waiting to see how his hand heals. Hand's one of those weird, all those little bones in the hand, and we'll see what happens with his hand, and we'll go from there.
No doubt. Well, as long as we're talking about the welterweight division, I got to ask you, Gilbert Burns, Khamzat Chimaev, are we doing this fight? We keep hearing the rumors. Is this fight going to happen? I think it's one that people want to see.
It is. I agree. It's a fight I want to see, and yeah, it's happening.
All right. Do you have a date on it yet? Do we know when it's going to happen?
It's going to happen April 9th.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's going to be a big one. All right. Did want to ask, I think it's literally like as we're talking, we just found out that Rafael Fiziev is out this weekend. That's a bummer. Any idea if it's too late to get a replacement for Rafael Dos Anjos, or do you just move him to another date?
We'll replace it. We'll get another
Nice.
fight.
I dig it. And I guess I was going to ask you if we can get an early preview. If you don't know now, you know. What else are you excited about? Is it Edson Barboza, Bryce Mitchell? Is it Kevin Holland, Alex Oliveira? What is it that we got to look out for?
All of it. I mean, you know, Barboza's always fun. Kevin Holland's awesome. The girls fight. They hate each other too. They've been talking smack. You got Rodriguez versus Jan, which is a fun fight. I mean, this is a great card.
I dig it. All right, let me ask you a couple things moving forward. The past couple of years, you've been talking about, you used to know everything about the business. Now, I mean, war is going on. This is crazy. I mean, something you wouldn't think could affect the UFC, but you've got a number of Russian fighters, Ukrainian fighters. You got Alexander Volkov in a headliner in London. What do we know about that? I mean, obviously this is bigger than the fight business, but what do we know in terms of, can those guys compete? Can these Russians, these Ukrainians, can they travel? And is Alexander Volkov going to be able to headline that event?
Yeah, that's what we're working on daily here, trying to figure out how to keep these fights together and how we get these guys into different countries now. And there's always going to be something, man, always something. You get over COVID, and now there's a war. So, and like you said, this what's going on right now is bigger than anything else, professionally or personally that goes on. But you also know me, man. I keep the show rolling.
Yeah, can only hope for the best for the people of that region. I guess it's worth pointing out too. Have you talked to the folks at the O2? The structure is okay over there, right? We saw some very big damage from like a hurricane that basically came through England. Is the venue okay?
Yeah, the part of the roof blew off, but it wasn't the arena. It was another piece somewhere else. Something that doesn't affect us.
Crazy. All the variables that go into running this fight business, huh? Something bad every day is what you say, right?
So true. So true.
All right, listen, just a couple more because I know you're busy and doing a lot of these. Conor McGregor did some interviews over the weekend. He says, he's looking at the summer. He's ready to get. He's talking about title shots. I mean, that's Conor McGregor. But has he started to hit you up yet? And what's the update? Have you started to, bring him back into the fold a little bit?
No, not yet. Once he gets, there's a lot of variables that have to come together for him to come back and fight. Number one is health, and how's his leg. And then once that's 100%, then we'll start to figure out where he goes. Because a lot of these, I mean, we have fights made already all the way up to June 18th already. So once he's 100% ready to go, we'll get him figured out, and we'll see what's what with the lightweight division, and we'll get him figured out.
Could he walk into a title shot? I mean, I know he's such a unique individual that it kind of doesn't matter if he's winning or losing. People want to watch him fight. Could you justify giving him a title shot?
Well, it's going to depend on who the champion is. The champion has some say in that too. You know what I mean? Who's going to be the champ when Conor McGregor comes back? And what do they want to do? I mean, if you look at Oliveira, right? If it's still Oliveira by the time he comes back, maybe Oliveira wants Conor. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Those paychecks that come along with Conor McGregor fights can be kind of enticing, can't they?
Absolutely.
All right, I want to ask you about one other division, Davison Figueiredo, Brandon Moreno. I know you said, hey, man, 4 is kind of crazy, but this seems like the right situation. I agree. I think that's the fight to make right now. If I get a vote, I'm in the matchmaker meeting, say John Morgan wants fight number 4. Are we doing fight number 4?
Well, this is one of those fights where you absolutely have a vote. It's you, it's the fans. And yeah, I mean, everybody wants to see this. It's one of the craziest things I've ever experienced in this business. But it makes sense. I want to see the fight again.
Yeah, I never thought I'd want to see a fight 4 times in a row, but I got to see this fight again.
And they want to fight each other again. It's crazy.
Yeah. So what do you think? Is that the way we go? I mean, are there obstacles in the way, or is it just a matter of getting it scheduled?
I don't know. I don't have that answer for you right now.
Fair enough. Last thing I want to ask you about was Francis Ngannou. Any progress at all? Has there been any discussion? Is there any moving forward at all?
He's out of the country right now. He's in Cameroon. When he gets back from Cameroon, he's supposed to get together with my crew.
I dig it. Do you see it maybe an interim belt? I mean, I know that's crazy. We just got rid of an interim belt, but do you see a situation where he's out long enough that maybe an interim title fight does make sense?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any answers for that right now. What you guys do is you want me to say, yeah, I could see a possibility of an interim title. Then it goes out, everybody starts saying, oh, Dana's going to do an interim title, and that's not what I said.
That is a fair point. I will say I think it's justified in this one. I want to see John Jones and Stipe for an interim belt. Come on, let's match make that.
Right, John Morgan wants an interim title for the heavyweight championship.
Fair enough, man. I dig it. All right, UFC 272. It's Saturday night, T-Mobile Arena. I guess last thing I'll say is, what are you expecting? Is this a home run here? Like I said, it's a non-title fight, but it's a grudge match. Is this going to be one of the biggest events of the year? Are you seeing this do well? Is this one of those? We'll see how it goes.
$6 million gate, and I had to cut the media section in half again for Billionaire Row. Yeah, so yeah, it's a big fight.
Awesome. Fantastic. Dana, appreciate the time. Welcome back to the underground. Hopefully we can do this again real soon.
Congrats, buddy.